Good afternoon. This is Robert Scribbler on another Friday for Future, where we at the OBX Wave Report here stand in solidarity with all the youth climate activists who are now working and fighting as hard as they can to address the climate crisis and to transition the world to clean energy and a more sustainable future for all of us living here on the beach, all of us living in the United States, and all of us around the world. I am here at Rodanthe Pier, and behind me the Atlantic Ocean is pounding. And why don't we take another walk on the beach and see what we can see. It is a glorious day today, beautiful weather. The waves are amazing all up and down the Outer Banks. I've seen surfers hopping into the waves, frolicking in the surf, enjoying this gorgeous swell that you see behind me. And these massive, beautiful, glassy, towering peaks, one of which is breaking over here just in front of me. But as we walk down the beach, we begin to see some things that aren't quite so right, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. To my right here is Ocean Drive. You can't see it yet because I haven't turned the camera around, but you will. And Ocean Drive is well known in the Outer Banks and now across the United States for a number of reasons. One of which is one of the first places on the U.S. East Coast where you can see the obvious effects of sea level rise driven by fossil fuel burning. And today, amongst the surf, we see these houses that are teetering on the edge. Here in the Outer Banks, we receive about 5.5 millimeters of sea level rise every year. That might not sound like much, but it has a dramatic effect. Right here behind me, I'm gonna have to scramble because there's a wave coming up here. Right here behind me is a house that once stood behind a massive sand dune. I'm gonna try and get the whole house in the image. There we go. This house once stood behind a massive sand dune, but now the sand dune and the beach no longer protects it. It is entirely exposed to the ocean, as is the house behind it. Wow. And as is the house behind that. And we're going to go for a walk behind these houses and take a look at them. But here in the Outer Banks, that 5.5 millimeter per year sea level rise in some places is knocking away 14 feet of beach every single year. And over the next century, depending on how rapidly we burn fossil fuels or depending on how rapidly we transition to clean energy, the sea level rise here in the Outer Banks could range anywhere from 2 to 7 feet for the entire century. Now with 7 feet, these houses will be gone, and so will all the other houses that you see here behind me. So let's go ahead and take a little walk behind these houses as we talk a little bit more about the need to save our wonderful shores from the effects of human-caused climate change. Now for me, this is pretty personal. I've enjoyed the Outer Banks all my life, and there are many who are like me. And this notion that the Outer Banks could disappear in a human lifetime is one that is pretty stunning to me and a major call for urgency. So here I am now behind this one house that is teetering on the brink, and I'm going to try and give you guys a sense of these other homes that are also teetering on the brink. I'm going to basically have to stand almost in the water here to get this film. There's a cable cord down here leading up into this house. So these homes are basically have their feet in the churning surf, house after house here on Ocean Drive. Last winter during a nor'easter, one of these homes just fell into the ocean. Sorry, I'm having to scramble up here because the surf is just washing right beneath my feet as the waves offshore just pound. Massive waves pounding offshore, waves running up the beach and impacting the houses right behind me here. I'm going to go ahead and walk underneath the house. So we're going to walk underneath this house and on to the next one. I'm on Ocean Drive. There's supposed to be a road there, but there's no road there anymore. There's just piles of sand. And so that used to be a road. But now, because of the effects of sea level rise and human-caused climate change, this entire road here has been turned into basically a sand pit. Oh. So we're going to look at house number 3 here. Getting washed by the ocean. I'm going to go ahead and show you this massive wave breaking offshore. Huge wave. And then waves pounding on these homes. The way the lighting is, you're not seeing it as well. So I'm going to see if I can actually, you know what? Just spin the camera around so you can. Let's see. There we go. So here you see the waves washing up behind me and impacting these houses. The house in front of me here is getting washed in these waves as well, but it's actually deeper in the water. And again, you can, whoa, here we go. Waves chasing me up the beach here. And then you can see the massive waves breaking offshore. Now there's no storm out here today. There's just big surf. And big surf is just washing underneath the waves. I'm going to go down to Ocean Drive here and we're going to walk on Ocean Drive. We're going to take a little walk for our future on Ocean Drive. We're going to get a bit more of a perspective of these houses here behind me in the water. Okay, so here we are on Ocean Drive. This is Ocean Drive, pretty much inundated by sand that has been washed in from the beach by the pounding surf and the rising sea levels. So we're going to take a walk down Ocean Drive here over to another house. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 houses right here on Ocean Drive. And if you look right here, you can see a place where the water has washed down underneath this house and into the road. So these are the effects of sea level rise and human-caused climate change visible right here on the Outer Banks. God, those waves are so huge. I'll have to get another video just of these waves here. The wave report this morning was completely wrong. I don't know what the wave models were saying. These waves are, I'd say, easily 5 to 7 feet, maybe larger, offshore here. And I'm going to get a better view of those waves. So here, once again, good God, look at those waves. As the waves break on the house right behind me and try and wash up to my feet, I'm going to try and get a better picture for you guys of this house. So just get into the shadow here and get more of an image of the waves washing up underneath this home as the surf just pushes in along with the rising oceans into these beautiful beach homes that families have probably loved and cherished for decades. We're going to continue to walk here. So in this spot where I'm standing right now, a house was washed away. The house just was ripped from its foundations during a nor'easter last year and floated out to sea. And that was the end of that house. So all that's left of this house is just this drum here that I'm walking up on. So here we are with a grill drum, which is basically all that remains of this house in this empty lot that I'm standing on. So that's house number 5, I believe, back there. This is house number 6 that we're coming up on House number 6 is almost entirely in the ocean. The front area is awash with water, and the back stairs are barely accessible today. So here we have house number 6. I'm going to step out so you can get a better view of house number 6 here. We're not going to give you the exact addresses for the privacy of the owners, but see this house basically standing with its feet in the ocean right now on Ocean Drive in Rodanthe, North Carolina. And this due to the effects of sea level rise and human-caused climate change. Now that's 6 houses with all their feet in the ocean. I'm on house number 7 here, and we could go on and on forever. This video has gone on for about 11 minutes now, and I'm gonna have to run from the water again. So house number 7 right here, and house number 8 is in front of me, and the waves are just piling on. I'm gonna spin around so you guys can see house number 8. There's house number 8 standing in the water as the waves wash up to it. And behind it there is house number 9. And I could just keep walking on and on through this stretch of beach. But all these houses now exposed to the ravages of the ocean due to the effects of sea level rise driven by fossil fuel burning. So that's our walk for this Friday, December 16th, for the future, as we stand in solidarity with the youth climate activists who are fighting for all our future. Not just for the future of young people, certainly, which is very important, but for the future of us all living here today. Thank you for joining me, and I'm going to get another supplemental. We're going to have, I believe, 4 or 5 supplementals today, so you guys are going to have all sorts of stuff to look at on YouTube today. There's just so much to report on here in the Outer Banks today as I watch these massive waves pound on this beach here in Rodanthe on Ocean Drive, which is becoming a landmark for human-caused climate change. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be back with you shortly.